Hey, I just wanted to give a second suggestion for how to accomplish that slanted button effect through uh, through just one texture instead of doing what I was doing with like having edge textures that were like just the corner you could like add at the end and at the beginning to like make it look slanted. Um, to make it a clickable region, I was thinking about it some more. You could have the full texture be um, be represented in the sprite, and then open up that sprite with the sprite editor. You do need to enable that by going to Package Manager and then navigating through the Unity registry to 2D Sprite and then hitting install down there. That would just be removed for me at the moment. And then once you're in here, you can define your borders. Mine happen to be for this particular texture 210 on either side. And then the reason I didn't want to do it like this is because it does technically make it a little more stretchy looking in different situations. So like if I was in iPhone X, but I guess like what does it matter? Because now the whole section is clickable. But what does it matter in the long run if the style is still preserved? Because otherwise you're doing everything by pixel placement like what I was doing before, and I don't know if that's really what you want to do. Totally up to you. This is a bit simpler, so it's just you put the object here and then you enter here that it's sliced on the button, and then in the texture itself within the sprite editor you define the left and right bounds. You don't need a top and bottom because it doesn't really have one, and it'd probably look real weird if you did. Let me find out. Let me look at this. What'd that even do? I'd start doing that if you tried to do top and bottoms, since it's a it's not a rectangle to repeat. It only repeats along one axis. Boom. Okay, so that's one way to do it, and then you would just go to each button, and the buttons would still be relatively pixel sized, and they're all the same width, but I give them different pos x offsets. So that way, I think it's 416 because it was about 208. I think it technically should be 200 and it's 210, right? So I think technically 420 would be the 420 would be the perfect slant, but you know, to me it looks pretty close. And you'd make each of these. There's the second one. That one is 208. I move that around. Move this one around. That's 416. So this one goes over 208, which is about one of those widths of one of the sides, as I defined over here. So that was about 208. It's technically 2010, but I'm not worried about it. And then the second one was double that to 416, so that'd be going down the line, and then you could just keep doing that for however many items you have. So unlike the other one, to me it looks like it gets more warped when you change to different resolutions, like boom. Actually, did I just happen to click on something with the same resolution? That's funny. But you got like boom. So to me it's like it's changing the arc a bit. Depends on how much of a specific you want it to be, how specific you want it to be. Because otherwise you're doing pixel placement, which is doable. You just got to be careful. Just got to be careful. And then the Hail Mary for that would be to remove the vertical layout group and make everything pixel based for that one element, except for maybe its positioning in regards to the game title, to the logo. So that way, wherever the logo is, it can just be right below it. But yeah, so that's idea number 2. I think that one might be a little easier to implement, and you don't have to like juggle as many like sub-components. So I just have my button, and that button has a cropped image, or well, an image that has its corners defined along one axis. So I just go 210 on the left and right sides, so that when I set it to sliced, it puts those on the edges, and then I can make it whatever size I want. So if I went to this particular button and I changed its width, you know, it does that. Looks nice. But it doesn't get any more stretched along these parts. It only stretches out the center. I'm just curious what happens if I set it from 0 to 1. And I did this. I guess you could do that and then just offset it the same direction on both sides, 208. 08. Oh, other way. Negative 208. Yeah, you could do something like that too. If you wanted it to always be from 0 to 1 of its parent, then you like offset it from there. Either way kind of works. Anyway, hope that was useful. I'll talk to y'all later.